Slumping since All-Star break, Marlins, Backs, Giants, and Reds keeping each other in playoff race. The race for final wildcard in the National League is shaping up to be a tight one. What it hasn't been, at least lately, is particularly good baseball. At the end of Sunday's games, Arizona, Miami, and San Francisco were tied for that last postseason spot at 70-67. Cincinnati was percentage points behind at 71-68. None of those four teams, however, has a positive run differential. And none of them has a winning record since the All-Star break. In fact, that quartet has gone 77-109 since the break. Because none of those teams has played particularly well, none of them have fallen out of contention. The Marlins are 17-28 since the All-Star game, even after completing a 4-game sweep of Washington this past weekend. Arizona endured a 7-25 stretch from July 2nd through August 11th before righting the ship a bit. The Giants have lost 16 of their last 24 games and the Reds have dropped 19 of 31. The result of all this mediocrity is that Philadelphia, 75-61, is now in solid shape as the NL's top wildcard. The Chicago Cubs, who were 6.5 games out of a playoff spot at the break, have made up all that ground and more. They're 2.5 games behind the Phillies in the second wildcard. San Diego's disappointing season looks even more exasperating as the bar for reaching the playoffs in the NL sinks lower and lower. The Padres are 6-22 in one-run games and 0-11 in extra innings, but they're still only 5.5 games out of a postseason spot. There isn't much time left, though. What happens when the best team in baseball suddenly turns it up a notch? The Atlanta Braves took 3 of 4 from the Los Angeles Dodgers and are now 44 games over .500. Ronald Acuna Jr. got married Thursday and then became the charter member of the 30-homer, 60-steal club that night. He's now up to 32 home runs and 63 stolen bases on the season. Everything is relative, and for the Oakland Athletics this constitutes a bit of a surge. They've won 4 of 5 and 8 of 13. For a while it looked like the A's might challenge the New York Mets' modern record of 120 losses, but now they'd have to lose every game the rest of the way just to tie the mark. In fact, the A's, 42-95, no longer have baseball's worst record this year. They've moved a half game ahead of Kansas City, 42-96.